All right, guys, I'm going to make just a quick couple statements just to help you guys out. First of all, let me say, that was a lot of fun to be out there. It's good to be back out there. Because we split the practice, a couple guys cramped up a little bit, so I actually got to take some reps, so that was good. Highlight film coming out soon, so you'll see it. But no, it was great to be back out there. Very grateful for all the guys and the hard work they put in the summer to put them in this position. So it was really a lot of fun to be out there. As you guys all know, unfortunately, Bob Wager resigned earlier this week. So really grateful for him for the time he spent here. Unfortunate situation. I know he took responsibility for it, and I appreciate him for doing that. Not a lot of men would have handled it the way he did. I don't judge people by their tough moments or worst moments. I always judge them how they respond. I really appreciate him, and I'm thankful for him. I mean, it was a short time, but he brought some recruits here. He brought some of his kids here, so I appreciate him and wish him and his family the best. He's a great coach. I know he'll do great things. And then I know obviously last night, it got out a little bit. Some of the guys that weren't there. I was hoping to address that today instead of yesterday, just to keep the focus on the guys. But I do understand you guys have a job to do. So. Just trying to think of the guys. Brody Tagaloa. Unfortunately, Brody was in a traffic incident, a car accident, a single car accident, maybe about a couple weeks ago. He's home in California with his family, recuperating. I FaceTimed him last night, and so he's had a cut to his face, had to have surgery on his knee. We expect him to miss the year, unfortunately. Brody was coming along great, but he's got a bright future, and good things will happen for Brody. So he's with us. He's just home with his family recuperating post the accident. Jacob Hood, Jacob's just dealing with some chronic ankle stuff. So he's kind of a little bit more in just sort of rehab mode right now. That's why he wasn't there last night. He was meeting with the doctors. Miles Farmer. Miles was suspended to end the summer by us, just for simple things, nothing major, just sort of some of our standards, and was not a member of the 120. So we'll wait and see how that all plays out. And who was it? Josh. And then Josh Fleeks reported yesterday and was significantly over his weight, so he was sent home to make his weight. So we'll wait and see how Josh does. So with that. So that should be about all the housekeeping. Maybe there's a couple other things you guys have. Let's see what questions you have.
Will you replace anybody will you hire somebody to replace Josh Martin?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We don't want to move too quickly. I mean, I don't want to. I always say hurry up and wait. I don't want to rush. But Ed's been doing this a long time, and now he actually has Josh now helping him on the field. So it's a little bit of a blessing in terms of special teams wise. Whereas Josh before couldn't talk, now he's able to out there and coaching the punt team with Ed. So, but we'll probably at some point, whether it's someone internally, we'll probably hire somebody.
How rare is it to have a guy though like him that already has Division I position coach experience, just kind of waiting in the wings on the staff?
Yeah, when we first hired Josh, I remember one of the analytics companies, sending me signing hey, great hire and all the things he had done, and we've just been nothing but impressed with Josh since then. We've had Christian Ellsworth in that room, and Christian's a really talented young coach. So it's kind of been a blessing to have him in there. But Josh has done it. He's done it at two places. He's had guys go on to the NFL, and I went out and watched his Indy today with the young guys, and you could tell he's been coaching a long time. So our whole plan and kind of building the staff a little differently than maybe it's been done here before was having a bunch of guys waiting in the wings. So as guys have opportunities and move on, or unfortunately in a situation like this, we have guys here. We don't have to go out and hire someone new. We can go out and hire guys within the organization that that know our systems and understand our way of life.
Matt, can you speak to the structure that you use today with the young guys and what the benefit of that is for you as players?
Yeah, you probably remember way back when I was a player. we reported and we have 5 days. Freshmen had 5 days, and so I don't remember who I took it from. Maybe it was Willie Taggart or someone along the way, and so. Every year's been a little different, Mitch. Some years we don't have a big freshman group and we haven't done it, or sometimes it's 4 days, sometimes it's 3 days. But you can even kind of tailor the play calls for them. So we were able to be a little bit slower with them, a little bit more methodical with them. And it wasn't. There were some older guys that came down just to get reps, but the most important thing to me is reps. As I told the young guys at the end, a lot of places in the country, the freshmen showed up and they got 5 reps in practice today, but our guys all got 40. So it's just kind of what Coach Osborne told me, make sure they all get reps. And it's a little bit of a strain on, the coaches and the staff because, you're having to be out there for a little bit longer, but it's fun and it's good to see them, their personalities, right? You see Chubba now goes from being kind of one of the young guys. Now Chubba's the vet out there leading that third offense, and you see guys, you see the guys as freshmen sort of start to who's the leader, who's got some juice to them. So it's really good to see. I got to tell you, I'm really happy with the young group we have, the freshman group. Like, they are fast. I mean, they are really, really fast. Their movement skills, Ed and I were talking out there, like our special teams. It's going to be a battle to get on those special teams because we have a lot of guys who can really run and move that want to play.
How exactly was it divided up then? How did you make the split?
Yeah, we tried to divide it as close to half as we could, right? So if we had, I'm trying to think of like we divided the wideouts. I think we divided them like 9 and 8 or 8 and 8. So it wasn't only the young guys; just most of the young guys were in the young group. Some older guys had to go down and help out, but for them, instead of running with the second group and they get to run with the first group, right? So we tried to divide it even. We had 18 offensive linemen available today, so we went with 10 in the first group and 8 in the second group, and those guys in the second group just had to rotate through.
How was that night one dorms? Do you have a roommate as well over there?
Oh, I don't have a roommate. No one wants to room with me. I'll be honest. First of all, I'll say this: like, the dorms are really nice. Okay, like I was kind of hoping for like a little bit more of like a cot. No, when they had air conditioning, I was like, this doesn't count. But so credit to University Housing. It's really a pretty place. And I'll just say I really appreciate, and I really mean this, the housing people, because they've bent over backwards to help us. And I love it. Now, I'll say I'm cheating, okay? I have married housing over there, or like the RA's room. So I have a little bit nicer room than some of the ones I saw on social media yesterday. So I feel a little bit bad, but not that bad. But yeah, it was really nice. It was so much fun this morning to kind of wake up and just walk over there and walk through East Stadium and come right to work, man. It was pretty cool.
How many people are in the dorms right now?
Well, so even some guys that are like, some guys are not in the 120, like Buford and Mashachak and those guys, but they're here rehabbing. So we probably have like 125 players, maybe 124 players. Our entire strength staff, so whatever that is, 8, because it's including the interns, and then all the coaches except I told our 2 coaches over 60 they did not have to stay, Ron Brown and Coach McGarry. They might be staying in there, I don't know, but I told them they didn't have to. And then a couple trainers and an ops person. So we probably have 160 people in that dorm.
Why is it so important to you to do that?
Well, I want our whole team to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Like they're not allowed to leave campus without permission. Like we told them, like, don't tell me your dog needs walked or like you're here. So I think for me, it's like we just have to get comfortable with new things. But more importantly, like, we're trying to build brotherhood, right? And so we're trying to build this sense of common purpose by getting to know each other. So having those guys over there, Gus and his people put a bunch of board games and cards, hoping that they'll maybe get off their phone and talk to each other. And then, we don't just play for ourselves. We don't just play for the football team. We play for the University of Nebraska and the state of Nebraska. And so returning to the heart of campus to me is really important. So I think it's that. And so it kind of divides camp up, right? You're in the dorms for 2 weeks. Then you have a week of kind of being at home coming in. Then school starts, and then we have 10 days before the first game. So sort of this 2-week grind. And, I thought the dorms would be a little bit harder. They're pretty nice.
What's the timeline on Farmer in terms of like what you want to see from him and how quickly could you theory get back?
I don't know. It's just kind of day by day, like I said, I love Miles. He's a competitive kid. It's so hard when you have a new coach, right? And they have different standards than you're used to. So I get that, right? We've been patient with a lot of guys, We'll see what happens with Miles, right? We'll see what happens, and we'll see. Like I said, the ball's in his court. I mean, would love him to be here, but whatever he wants to do, I respect him as a man. So whatever he decides, I understand.
Matt, you mentioned speed before. Is there anything that jumped out at you other than just the speed of the new guys today for the first practice?
Yeah, I think that's the one distinguishing, really good characteristic. I mean, they're all. Like I said, they're all. They're getting a lot of reps, and they're probably not used to it. So there's a lot of guys kind of trying to catch their breath. I think they're in pretty good shape. They're pretty knowledgeable. The challenge to them, all young players want to play. The number one thing that keeps young players from playing is their knowledge of the playbook. It slows them down, right? So I begged them at the end of practice, like, this is not my phone, but I was like, this will not help you play. Like, every minute you spend on this phone or playing the game does not help you play. Like, study your playbook. So that's the hardest thing. Like, very few guys will actually do it. Just is what it is, right? Like, So, but the ones who do, there'll be a couple freshmen that'll really buy into it, and they'll study it, and they'll be on a mission to play, and they'll help us, because the young players, we're going to win with the older players, but the young players can help us.
Is that your first time on the new grass?
Yeah, I walked across it once or twice, but that was my first time to be out there. They did a great job. Even just standing on it, like, it's just how much better it is to stand on it, like landing on it when you fall down. And like I said, the safety they did a great job. Nemaha came in and did it. And Alex and his team here have done a good job of getting the field ready to go. Yeah, so Marcus has a broken bone in his hand that he suffered in the summer, and so we think that they'll take the cast off on Monday, and he'll be splinted and able to practice on Tuesday. So today he did all the movement, running stuff, and then went over with the return to play guys and just ran and stayed in shape. So unfortunate for him, but he'll be back next week.
Matt, Nick Henrich was up here, and he said he didn't know if he'd play again after that injury last year. What have you seen from a guy like him to just get back on the field and be a part of it?
Yeah, I think Nick has he has a great spirit about him. He plays for the right reasons. He cares about his teammates. Again, I'm one of those coaches. I always kind of focus on like the 4 or 5 guys that are being a problem, and I have to every once in a while stop and look at guys like Nick who are overcoming and doing everything right. So if you ask the team like who leads and who they trust and all those things, they're all going to say Nick. And so it's a lonely road when you tear your ACL. I mean, you kind of wonder, am I ever going to be able to play again, right? Am I ever? And then when you do come back to play, you're always wondering, like, is it going to go again, right? So there's a lot of faith involved. Like, hey, I trust this process will work. I trust the trainers will work. But you're getting up at 5:30 in the morning all winter in the pitch black, walking across campus when it's cold to show up and rehab. So to see him out there is pretty cool, right? To see him out there, and I hope he has a great year. But to me, he's already won because. Again, he went through adversity and he's battled back, and he's got a triumphant spirit, man. I know he inspires guys on our team.
And some of the veteran players, did the energy and enthusiasm and retention is where you want to be in practice?
Oh yeah, I thought they were great. I was really pleased with everything. It's just you can run all summer, but till you put a helmet on and then you take reps. And again, like, we're not standing around very much. There's even in a split team, so there's 60 guys out there, probably 55 guys out there. Had 2 drills going with 55 guys, so they took reps nonstop. So they were, at the end, they were gassed a little bit, which is good, right? But we were only out there with them for about an hour and 35, 40 minutes. They're so focused. I mean, the older guys here are really focused, and I think they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I said to them, like, all we're trying to do is earn the right to walk into Minnesota with confidence. That's all we're trying to earn it. Like, one thing about being in Nebraska, it's a great place, but like, we're all given a lot. Like, people care about us. Like, Trev gives us all this stuff. Like, we have scholarships. Some guys have NIL stuff. We get a lot of stuff, but they don't give you wins. You've got to earn wins. They don't give you wins. That you have to earn wins. And so, I like the way that they have like a sense of like, hey, let's get this done. And let's just talk about today. So I was pleased. I had a lot of fun out there with them today. I really did.
One more.
Are you guys eager to get inside here in their new locker room? I mean, I know that there's delays, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but what are the?
I had one of them ask me today, hey, Coach, when are we getting in here? I think they know enough not to, they know I'll probably say, like, just worry about, but I've been down there. It's gorgeous. It's like, even in the last week, it's made some real jumps. So, I'm being patient, right? Like, when we move in, we move in. The worst thing in the world would be to move in before it's ready. And, I mean, they're working around the clock to get it done right. So, the rain probably hasn't helped. The rain's been great for the state. I don't know if it's helped us in terms of the turf field and all that stuff. So, we will take the crops over our turf field, though. Let me say that. So, maybe by the end of camp, we'll have guys moved in. I'm anticipating as a coach, I'm anticipating just working out of my office up here until whenever day they tell me to move over. So that's a pretty cool office too. So someone else had something. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, you've been through first days before. What did today's first day feel like for you personally, and we're in the end of being out there when it's fall camp?
Yeah, I was really calm and peaceful today. Like, I really felt a sense of like just calm. Like, for my day one of coaching a team, in fall camps. My 4th time being a head coach and having to be day one. These guys are just way further along than, they just understand what we're asking them to do. And the staff has done a great job. Like, Susan's worked every day this summer to get them. And Garrett McGuire didn't go on vacation. He stayed every day this summer. So, like, they're just the team's so much further along in terms of understanding what we're asking that it just made me, I'm not out there having to be a maniac making sure every drill's like they understand where it's supposed to be. So I just I have to give a lot of credit to the players. I mean, they really worked this summer. And I'll say one thing. I think Billy spoke today, Billy Kemp. He's an edgy, tough, feisty dude. Like, someone wants to jump me, and I see Billy. I'm saying, hey, Billy, will you help me out? Like, he's a guy I'm taking into a dark alley with me. But I watch him out there with the players in the summer, and I watch him coach those guys he's always pulling a guy over and saying, hey, let me talk. So our young players are pretty much further along because of the culture of our older players here. And, I really appreciate that. All right, thanks, guys.